South Sullivan County. This is your boy Majestic. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I know y'all looking at me like, nah, I'm not getting ready to go to the club and all of that. You know what I'm saying? This is actually how me dress. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to go to work, right? Dig? Yeah. But anyway, this is how I go to work. Right, and I'll explain to that in a second. I wanted to just, express me a quick Majestic World premiere before I actually went because, I heard this song while I was watching the Simone Biles story, the gymnast, and it was a song that came on by Mrs. Rachel, damn, what was her name? Rachel Platten or Platten. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. If not, I'm sorry about it, Mom. But I'm still giving you your props. But and it was called "This Is My Fight Song." A very famous song. Everybody's heard it before. But I heard it and I really listened to it for the first time, and I realized just how much it actually resonated with my story, resonated with my own biography. And I was like, wow, you know what? I never really listened to that song before. Um, and I say that and it's no big secret. For years, for about maybe 20 years off and on, I was addicted to drugs, and that was a nightmare for me. Um, as a result of that destructive lifestyle that I was actually living, the drugs, the crime, the violence, I had all of that going on, the whole lifestyle. And as a result of that, a situation arose where, I was incarcerated for about 7 years on a trumped up charge. And, I was really bitter behind it. But while I was incarcerated, a word got back to me that law enforcement and the judicial system was well aware that, the charges were trumped up. But they felt like they were helping me and helping the community. They felt like I was a destruction. They felt like that I was what's the right choice of words I'm looking for? They felt that I was a danger or a threat, not only to myself, but a danger or threat to the community as well. So when that came back to me, I was still kind of bitter, but then one day it hit me when I was sitting in my cell. And I was like, oh, wow, like an epiphany, something from God. And it said, wow, you know what? The judge is going to be who they are. The officers are going to be who they are. DAs, everybody's going to be who they are. But they didn't just randomly pick you out of a phone book. And they didn't just close their eyes and turn some pages and say, oh, who are we going to pick on today? Oh, Stephen Armstrong. No. I put myself in that position. It's because of the choices that I was making, and it's because the way I was living, put myself in a position to allow them to do that to me. And that's when I begin to take personal responsibility for my own actions instead of pointing the finger at everybody else. That's when my life started to change. And it's been about almost 15 years now since I've used any kind of drug or alcoholic substances. But then I came home and I was doing the right thing. And if people remember a couple of years back, I did Stop the Violence youth rallies, and I was doing community activist stuff, and I was going to school, and then just a lot of things were happening. I was trying to actually create a facility for myself, and I won't get into that right now. But though I put down the drugs and alcohol, there was still some things that still needed to be worked on. There were still some things up here that still needed to be touched on, still needed to be tweaked. I was with someone at the time, a significant other, and she got into some financial trouble. And she made me feel, made attempts to make me feel inadequate as a man because, I couldn't provide her with the financial resources that she needed at the time. And because I wasn't running the streets no more. Now I was legitimate, so I no longer could be able to provide the financial resources I could at one time. So but needless to say, I was made to feel somewhat inadequate, and my pride got the best of me, my ego got the best of me, and I decided that I was going to resort to resources that I felt at the time was only available, which we know what that is, street pharmaceuticals. And so because of my pride and because of my ego, that's what I resulted to. Like, me man must help me woman. And I did that. Now, I'm not blaming her. It was my choice. But those were the contributing factors. I have long forgiven this individual for that. So this is not me to place blame on her or anybody else. It's just I'm telling my story. So as a result of that, I was incarcerated. And once I got incarcerated, the ironic thing was the very person that I made that sacrifice for, the very person that I sacrificed my freedom for, left me, left me in there. So that sacrifice was in vain. So that's just a lesson involved, that's a lesson out there, not only for myself, but please, other people, learn from my mistakes, learn from my lessons, because I could have made different choices. I could have made some choices that allowed me to use some more legitimate means of resources to help that individual, instead of letting my pride get in the way and not reaching out and help and deciding to do it that way. So as a result, I had to pay the price. So while I was incarcerated I went through a series of other issues. When I was inside, I've challenged the system, and when I was incarcerated, and as a result, officers retaliated against me by placing weapons in my cell. And there was that one time where I was supposed to came home like in a month and a half. I had a month and a half to come home, and I didn't make it home as a result of them placing a weapon in my cell, and I got a weapons charge. There was a time where I was mistaken identity. If some of you remember me, I had these long, beautiful dreads all the way down my back. So I was because I could appear to be youthful to some people, because of the tats all of my and the dreads. I was mistaken as being a gang member after a gang riot, and 10 officers assaulted me. They jumped on me, ripped dreads out of my head, blackened cookie my eye, my lip, tried to break my knee, tried to break my ankles, and they proceeded to beat on me for about 2 minutes between the foyer door in one of the facilities up in Franklin Correctional Facility, and then gave me the fake assaults on staff charge, and threw me in the box. As a result, then I had to go to a super max because now the corrections seen me as this serious threat. But and I'm explaining all of these things because these are the adversities that I went through in my life. But now comes today. I'm dressed like this is because now I am entry-level counselor, at a drug rehabilitation center, which is something that a lot of people told me I was never going to get, and I was probably never going to amount to, except for one person, my mother. And I want to dedicate this song to her, because this is a woman that never gave up on me. She never gave up on me. Through all those years, man, all those years that I put that poor woman through, with my destructive behaviors and my poor choices, man, that woman rode with me, man. She always kept believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. And there was people who told her time and time again, Alice, that's her name, Alice Armstead, Alice, leave that boy alone, man, and you know what, give up on him, just let him, but she never did. She continued to love me until I learned to love myself. And I truly love that woman behind that. Mama, I love you. And my sister, too. She was always there for strong support, too. I love you, too, Grace, Nelly. So, without further ado, this is why I chose this song, because there's a lot of people who counted me out, and they're taking bets right now to see how long I'm going to be out. There's a lot of haters out there, and they're like, all right, let's see how long he lasts us now. But, I will prevail. So this song is for a biography of my life. So without further ado, welcome to another Majestic world premiere. Mirror. All right. Like a small boat in the ocean, set the big waves into motion. Like a single word, make a heart open. All one match, but I can make an explosion. All those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain. I can scream them out tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm the right song. My power's turned on. Right now, don't be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I really don't care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and losing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. I'm in too deep. Said I'm in too deep. Been 2 years, I'm missing home. Fire still inside my bones. I still believe. Yes, I still believe. All the things I didn't say, wrecking ball inside my brain. I can scream them out tonight. Can you feel my voice tonight? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm the right song. My power is turned on. Really right now, gonna be strong. I'll be my fight song. And I really don't care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me. Small boat in the ocean, sending big waves in the motion, like a single word, make a heart open. Only got one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm the right song. My power's turned on. Right now, alright. I'll be strong. That's it. And I still got a lot of fight left in